You're watching Pyro Media Network.
Thank you for tuning in. If this is your first time joining us, welcome. We hope your experience is fruitful. Please feel free to visit our website to find out how you can join our growing family. While we are loading your experience, please do us a quick favor and hit that like button from whichever platform you're watching or listening on. Also, share so others may enjoy as well. And we hope you would consider hitting that subscribe or follow button so you can check out more of our amazing content. All right, let's start the show.
Hey, hello, and welcome back to my show. It's just Kim. This is the show where we talk about all things women, all things encouragement, all things real life. And for women of all ages. It's not just women of a certain age, but women of all ages. I love women. I love to talk to women, to encourage women, and to share. And so that's why we're here. That's what this platform is all about. So let me just say, I hope everyone's been safe. I hope you've been dry. I hope you have weathered this storm that we've been going through. It's been terrible, right? But we're weathering through it, right? We're weathering through the storm. And so my prayer is that everyone is safe. So tonight, I want to get right into it because I want to give myself and my guest enough time to really chat it up. Tonight, I have a very special guest, and I think I say that every time, but tonight I do. I have a very special guest, and she's special for several reasons. One, she's special because we have the same name. And then the second reason she's special is because our husbands have the same name. So it's Kim and William and Kim and William. Isn't that amazing? How do you find people like that? It's just amazing. But this woman I met through another dear friend of mine. And from the time I met her, I have just really appreciated her and admired her for all the great work that she does to encourage people. And so tonight's show is called Make It Make Sense. And, I was thinking about it, how it took me a very long time to really kind of get into gear into doing the things that were really on my heart to do, and still have some things to do, don't get me wrong. But it took me a while to really get encouraged. And one of the things that did really help me get encouraged was a class that I attended with this lady, this beautiful woman of God, who is an encourager. And I'm going to read some things about her when I bring her on. But tonight, I chose the title, Let's Make It Make Sense, because sometimes when we have these dreams and goals and visions and all the stuff that we want to do, sometimes we are so afraid or stuck that we just can't make it make sense. We can't get it organized. We can't put it, into perspective. And so tonight I have someone, if that's you, I have someone tonight who is going to be an amazing guest. She's going to share a little bit about what she does, and she's going to give us some tips on, getting it done. So without further ado, I want to bring on my guest, Miss Kim Dixon.
Hey there, my namesake Kim. It is so
Right.
exciting to be here tonight with you.
Yes. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited to have you here with me today. You just really don't even know how inspirational you have been to me. I don't know if you remember, I attended one of your sessions. Um, and as a matter of fact, Pastor Andre Burke was with me that night. And we talked, God bless her soul. We talked about how inspired we both were when we came and we got into these lessons, and I still have the little things that you took us through all these little lessons and gave us these little things, and I still have that. I keep everything, and I still have that stuff. And it was just such an inspirational evening. And so I was watching you because I know you've been doing something special for the month of February. And I was like, gosh, I gotta get Kim on my show. Oh my God, what have I been waiting for? But I just want to share just a little bit about who you are and what you do, and you can add to it. But you are the chief consultant for Kimberly Consult. You are a John Maxwell certified leadership coach and trainer, a global business development partner, an international speaker, and founder of Illuminate Leadership Company. You retired from executive retail in 2016 after leading to over 2,000 employees and managing 500 million in operations revenue. That's huge. That is huge. And you live by the proverb. This is what really, really inspired me. You live by that proverb: iron sharpens iron. And I know that that's a lot of your approach to how you coach. But I like this part too, because as women, we always want to add in the things that are most important. And it says that you maintain a growth mindset and you support your individual and corporate clients in creating exponential growth through your signature training and coaching. But most of all, you are a dedicated wife, you are a supportive mom, and a gracious grandma. And I know this to be true, a praying friend. So, y'all, this is Kim Dixon, Coach Kim Dixon. Thank you, Kim. Thank you
Thank
for
you.
being all those wonderful things.
Thank you, man. I need to take you with me and let you read my bio all the time because I just felt that in my
Oh,
soul. Thank you
oh,
so
well,
much. And I
I
do
meant it.
remember, yeah, I remember you attending Write the Vision was the name of the workshop.
Yes, yes,
Andre.
yes,
And you brought some friends along because
I
Kim didn't want
did.
to travel alone.
Yes, yes. And then I came to your house.
Yeah,
I came to
yeah.
your house for something that you
Sure
had. I
did.
came with Tiffany. And that was an amazing time. And your house is so gorgeous. Oh my God. Everything was so pretty and so yellow.
I love me some yellow. Purple,
So
but it was exciting. Yes, yes, yes. I'm
yes,
sorry.
that was an exciting time. You had food for us and you encouraged us, and it was a room full of wonderful women who were just inspired by you. So thank you for that. Thank you, because you are part of the push that I needed. um I'll be honest with you, I was a little intimidated, by all of that, because you know how it is when you're trying to start something, and you're just like, but what if it doesn't work? And I think I just kept rehearsing that in my mind. What if it doesn't work? What if I'm not good at it? What if all the what ifs, and you just kind of broke us through all the what ifs. And I think, I don't know if you said it or if I heard someone else say it. Do it, even if you have to do it afraid.
Mhm.
And I tell you, every single time I get on social media and I do the It's Just Kim show and my podcast, trust me when I say I am doing it afraid. Of many thinking, yeah, many things. But let me ask you a few questions, because I want my guests, I want my audience to hear all the wonderful, great things that you do. And then perhaps, they may want to be a part of what you do on a daily basis. So one of the things that I read about you was that you help courageous women leaders reposition and realign with divine assignment. To kind of unpack that for us.
Absolutely. When I say courageous, sometimes people may say that's not me, but it actually is you because we all
Mhm.
have that courage inside of us. Whatever is most important to you or that you're most passionate about, let something happen in the area. If you're a mom, let something happen to one of your
Mm,
kids. That
yes,
courageous woman comes out. I have one son named Joe, and let something happen to Joe. And then you see that courageous woman come out. So
that's
I can
true.
really sometimes help us tap into that same
Yeah,
energy that we have for that once we figure out what that next divine assignment is and we know what it is sometimes we just have to slow down and admit that I've been running from this for a long time, but it
yeah.
keeps popping up.
Keeps popping up.
Everywhere I go and everywhere I be, it keeps popping up.
Hmm.
And the biggest thing that I do for clients and for anyone in my sphere, because it doesn't have to necessarily be a paid client, because you are who you are.
Yeah.
How you are anywhere is how you are everywhere.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I believe my one of my calls on my life is just to help you see you. So it's not
Yeah.
about you showing, we talk about the things that, through the grace of God that I have accomplished, but it's not about what I've accomplished. It's about what you can navigate through, what you can accomplish, what you can do that you're called to do. And I really just am there as a vessel to help you see you. And then
Yeah.
I'm a strategist. So, of course, I have strategies coming from here and there and all over the place. So, when I'm connecting with someone,
Yeah.
I do receive strategies that we lay out. And if you give me something to work on, I'm probably going to come up with an acronym for it because that's just how
Wow.
this brain works.
Oh,
And
wow.
it helps me remember it, right? So I know that all Kims help people move. So I said that Kim is one who helps people keep inspired movement because we
Yes.
when we walk into the room, not just Kim's, other people as well, but when we walk into
Yes.
the room, we shift the atmosphere, and that is part of our
Yes.
call. It's what
Yes.
you do. Why I'm drawn to you from the first time I met you. Of course, it's just what we do. And
Wow.
because I spent so much time in business, I worked in a retailer from the cash register to the regional office. And
Wow.
because I am being a businesswoman is one of my mantles, I am able to help those who are ready to transition into entrepreneurship to just
Okay.
take that leap. To
Yeah.
take that leap. It's
And I
not as
think that's what it is. It's a leap. It's like a leap
yeah,
of faith, really, because
yeah,
I mean, you know what God has called you to do, if that's how you believe, and you know what you feel inside, you know what you're good at, but even if you're good at it or you're developing to be better at it, it's still a sense of, I need faith to get it done because you really don't know how it's
right.
going to turn out. You really don't know. So you've
Absolutely.
been doing something in the month of February. And now this was courageous to me, and a huge commitment, a huge commitment. So you've been talking about February focus. Tell us about February focus.
So February focus is something that I committed to doing in February. And one of the things that I committed to doing in committing to do something hard in February is I
Mm,
committed to going live every single day in February. So this
wow.
is kind of my rationale that okay, it's the shortest month of the year. So
Right.
if there's one month that I'm gonna do it, this would be the month. And when you talked about a little earlier, you talked about being overwhelmed and being a little bit intimidated. I feel that all the time. I just call
Wow.
it something different. See, I believe that it's power in what we call something. Before I logged on here, I was feeling those same feelings in my body, but
Wow.
I told myself it's good that I'm a little nervous because that
Yeah.
reminds me that it's not all about me and what I can see.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
We are
Yeah.
believers. I am, and I know you are. It's not all about me and what I can do. And the show up isn't just for me. I already know what the details are. So the show is for someone else. That's why we
Yeah.
show up. That
Yeah.
maybe someone that listens today can go from, level 7 to level 7.5. They don't,
Yeah.
it's not about the ultimate results. And I try not to get so tied to the outcome. So my job is to show
Mm.
up. My job is to support. My job is not to be tied to the outcome. So if I don't see the
Wow.
exact outcome that I want to see, because I talked to Kim for 20 minutes and now Kim has a $5 billion business, that's none of my business, really, right?
Wow.
My
I
job
like
is
what you
to show
just
up.
said because that could go both ways, not getting tied to the outcome because it could be, I spent hours and hours with Kim and she didn't do nothing with it.
Mhm.
The opposite of I spent,
Yeah,
20 minutes with Kim and she became a multimillionaire, business. So I like that. I like that about not being tied to the outcome because you did your part and now it's time to let that person do with their part and
right.
flourish and grow and whatever that looks like. So tell
Absolutely.
me this, what do you think? I know what my greatest barriers were, but what do you think the greatest barriers are that keep people from really starting or getting started on their aspirations, their dreams, their visions?
I think I think, and this took me some time to get here. We're talking about that at another time. So if you'd asked me these questions at maybe 20 years ago, I'd have some different answers. But because of life experience and actual work experience and people experience,
Yeah.
that and then actually polishing my craft, like going to get trained as a coach as well, because a lot of people will call themselves that title, but maybe won't take that time. Um, I think the fear of what we think people think and the fear of what
Oh,
we think people are saying holds us back so much. And
wow.
sometimes the people could be, say you left, and this was something for me for a while. Say you left one career and you started a new career, and you feel like, I don't know anything here. I went from the top to the bottom, from hero to zero. Maybe you got promoted or you went to a new career. And the reason you went to the new career is because you achieved well in the previous career, right? But when you
Yes.
get to the new career, you tend to forget that. You tend to forget who you are, right? So you have to
Ooh,
take a little time to remind yourself, because one thing I have learned is that skills are transferable. Your
wow.
skills that you had previously, you can use them in the next thing. So as an entrepreneur, you can use those skills. Maybe I can't call up the tech department or call up the HR department because I am that until I start putting on, members on my team. But all the skills that you had at your previous thing is transferable. But to get back to the question, because I can get into a whole teacher thing. To get back to the question about like the barriers that stop you, I think from my experience and even myself, a lot of times it's what you think people are gonna think. Maybe you want to post a post on social media, something as simple as that. It's your page, you created it. You can have any color you want, any image you want, any words you want, right? But
Yeah.
before you post that, and I deal with it myself, right? Before you
Yeah.
post it, you have to go through this whole long conversation. Is this?
Oh.
But what if they see it? Are they gonna click on it? And I mean, if you know how this social media is working, most of the people are not even gonna see it. And then
Yeah.
the ones who do see it, unless you're paying, right? And the ones who do see it are destined to see it. And
Yeah.
I today look at that is that's just receipts. So I'm not worried about the social media if people see it or not see it. Now, if I meet you a year from now and you go back and look at my social media, my receipts are there because I did post
That
it
is
that day,
true.
right?
That
I was
is true.
courageous enough to post it that day.
Yes. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Even though you just stepped all over my toes, you read my mind. You read my mail. All of that, right? All of that. You know what? Let me, because I'm getting caught up over here. I need to make sure that I have things positioned where I can see what my producer is telling me, so he doesn't have to yell at me every time. Go to a commercial.
So
But
that's
this
why
is not.
Lucretia said the skills are transferable. They are. It took me
They
a minute to
are.
own that. I remember right before I left my retail leadership career, my boss wanted everything on a PowerPoint. And I was like, why can't I just send you a picture? He's like, all these pictures are great. Can you put them on a PowerPoint? He started doing that. And I was like, man, why can't I just send you the pictures? And now that I use PowerPoint in my
Yes.
training, coaching, and all that, I can thank him and thank God for that season, right?
Yes.
Of
Yes.
me learning
Let
and
me tell you, you are stepping on my toes. You've just read my mail because I had taken some time off work, needed to work on me. And so finally I started seeking employment. And so, when you are a person of a certain age, there's that intimidation there.
Mhm.
I'll turn 60 this year.
Yes.
And so, honestly, if we're honest with ourselves, not many folks are hiring 60-year-olds, right? So I interviewed and long story short, got this amazing job. And immediately I was intimidated, right? Even though some
Mhm.
of the same skills I used in my previous job, I'm definitely going to use in this job. But Kim, right? I mean, they saw something that I didn't see. And so, and even in interviewing
Right.
me, before I left the parking lot good, I think I was halfway to the freeway. They called me back and said, we don't think you are this position. We think you are this position. And so we want to offer you
Mhm.
this.
Right.
And when I say I was willing to take the other position, but the newer position is everything I asked God for. When I say
Yes.
everything I asked him for. And
Yes.
so I was just amazed. And so I'm still right now talking to myself, telling myself, you got this. You can do this. You've got all the skills. Everything you need is inside of you to get this
Yeah.
job done.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is completely spot on. And that's how I know you love doing what you do. Tell me a little bit about your style of coaching.
So my style of coaching is pretty much how I'm talking right now, all up in your
Okay.
face. But I am super supportive. I just feel like in this season in my life, I don't have time to waste. So I'm
Yeah.
not going to coddle and baby you. If you need that, then you don't need me as a coach, right?
Right.
But I am here, like no, like it's just part of my DNA to be here for the people that I'm here for. I
Yeah.
believe that the assignments are divine. And at one point, I prayed and I asked God to send me the people to coach, and who you send me, that's who I'll serve. And to hold up my end of it, I show up no matter what. And I've decided, because I used to get caught up in how much to charge, and a lot of people get caught up in that. And I decided that I was going to show up 1000%, whether I was doing something
Wow.
for free or for
Wow.
$10 million. There was going to be no difference in my show up, because you never know what something turns into,
You
first of
don't.
all, right? And then
Yeah.
I don't want that to be my style, to show up prepared, right? Instead of that you got this, you are this, like you are that next level position. That position was waiting on you because you've been
Mm,
preparing for that for so many years.
yeah. Yeah.
You've been preparing for today for so many years. I'll tell you what I tell my son: what's yours is yours, and can't nobody block it. I've been telling him that forever. And if you don't get it, it's not yours, baby boy. But what's yours is yours. Can't nobody take it, and can't nobody block
Yes.
it.
That
Right?
is so true. That is so true. And I feel the same way about so many things in our lives. It's like whatever God has for you, whomever God has for you, wherever God has for you to go,
Mhm.
nothing can stop it. Now, I feel this way. And in some cases, I feel like not even I can stop it. It
Right.
may take me longer to get there because I'm being hard headed, and
Yeah.
God has to take me through the storm and the rain to get there
Yeah.
because of me. But I just feel like whatever it is, and I feel that way on so many levels. And just like, that job, it was for me. I
Right.
started applying for it in October. I had started applying for it in October, and there were different barriers and things going on. And when it came, it was the right time. It was the
Yeah.
right season. It was everything was perfect. And so, I'm just one who believes that, God is in control.
Yeah.
He's
If you
in
look at that,
control.
there's actually a rhythm. Like we all have a rhythm to things, and we think we don't. We think we don't have, sometimes we don't think we have a process or a rhythm, but we all have rhythms to things. So when those things happen, when it does happen, and like, oh my gosh, that was perfectly aligned for me. There are
Yeah.
other times in your life when things happen that were perfectly aligned for you because we all have rhythms. And if you get in tune to your rhythm, and then you'll know what your success formula is. This is something I do with clients, is help them figure out, like, what's your success formula? Because people want to push you into a blueprint that's not yours. But if
Mm.
you step into the blueprint that's yours, that's uniquely yours, nothing can stop you.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Um, Let me ask you this, and you tell me if you think this is a good question or not. But
All questions
who
are good. Go ahead.
perfect, because that's what I actually tell my students in the classroom. There are no dumb questions. Who would you say are the hardest people to coach?
The hardest people. Well, the hardest for me, or the hardest in general, could be a little different. So I'm gonna give you the shorter version. So the hardest for me sometimes is people who already know the answers. And
Mm,
you try to give them something like, oh no, I already know that. But as I polish my own skills, like challenge myself instead of challenging them, challenge myself,
mhm.
how can I coach them better? And I learned that don't just look at the surface. Like most things are beneath the surface, right? That
Yeah,
fighting back and like I already
yeah.
know that. Or if you're teaching a class and they want to take over, teacher, you're teaching the class and you want to say, well, why don't you just teach the class?
Right, right.
What I learned in my retail career is that that's the person that needs your attention. That's the person that really wants to connect with you. That's
Okay.
the person that really could use what you are putting out there because they want to be seen, but
Mm,
they don't want to be seen as not knowing. So um I think when I find someone difficult to coach, I have to check my ego, to be
oh,
honest. I have
oh
to check.
wow. So you turn the spotlight off of them and put it on yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're all human beings, and I believe that most people want the best for themselves and for others. Most people want
Mhm.
to live their best life. I believe I attract those people. Not to say that there aren't people who don't want the best, because there
Right,
are. But
right,
I
right,
believe
right.
I attract those people. And to go back to that prayer, if I prayed that prayer, you know, who you send me, I'll coach them.
Yeah,
Then it's
yeah.
like, what can I learn about myself from this person? Because when you're in that position of coaching, you always learn from the people that you coach.
Wow.
You
Yeah,
always
that's
learn
true.
from them.
When I was teaching, and even now in whatever I do, um, I always learn from the people that I teach. I always learn some,
Mhm.
there's always a takeaway.
Yeah.
So, in the spirit of takeaways, we're going to go ahead and get ready for a commercial. We're going to go to a commercial and then we'll be right back. And I have a couple more questions for you.
All right.
because self-care should be luxurious. Luxe Noir.
That you can now catch the electrifying sounds of Bulletin Flight Radio anywhere you go? Yes, you heard it right. Tune in to the high-flying beats and soaring melodies by downloading the TuneIn app on your mobile device. Just search for Bulletin Flight Radio and hit play. It's that easy. And if you have a smart device like Alexa or Google, just say, "Hey Google," or "Alexa, play Bulletin Flight Radio on TuneIn." Experience the rush of adrenaline wherever you are. Listen to Bulletin Flight Radio on TuneIn using your Alexa or Google devices. Soaring through the skies has never sounded this good. Don't miss out on the ultimate musical journey. Tune in now to Bulletin Flight Radio on TuneIn and let the music take you on an unforgettable ride. Get ready to elevate your listening experience. Brought to you by Bulletin Flight Radio.
All right, so we are back, and I'm here with my guest, Kim Dixon, Coach Kim Dixon. And I like what you said earlier. I like what you said. You said some people carry that title, coach, but they have not put the work in. And I can appreciate the fact that you took the time out, you invested, I'm sure, money and time into your craft to be the best coach that you could be. So I'm grateful that you're here on my show. Thank you again. So let me ask you this question, because I know that, like, sometimes when we are being coached by someone and we're setting up goals and working on, all of the different ways to achieve those goals, sometimes we're asked the question, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years, the next 10 years? And I know, that we are women of a certain age. Mm-hmm. I know I am. But, we still look good, girl, But I wanted to ask you, where do you see yourself? Where do you see Kimberly Consult in the next 5 years?
Wow, that's a great question. I am a woman of a beautiful certain age, stepping on the back of your shoes, girl. Okay. And I do plan for the future. Everything that I do now, I want to do as a legacy project. I started doing some things as legacy projects, things that I felt that I didn't want to do, but it was kept coming to me, and I was like, okay, that's going to be a legacy project because I want to make an impact. Like, I do some work with the Los Angeles Police Department as a consultant and as a legacy project, so that I can make an impact in the people who are policing the streets that my child and my grandchildren have to be on. I see myself personally doing the same thing, but maybe not doing it in the same business. So I believe that what we're called to do is what we're called to do. So until I leave, I believe that I'm going to be encouraging people to keep going. I believe that I'm going to be that mentor or that wise old woman that you can come and talk to, because these are some of the things that were said at my mom's funeral, that she was the leader that if we didn't know what to do in this situation, we could come to her and talk to her. And I don't think that that's ever going to leave me. Now, where I'm doing it at might be different. So you have to call me and I'm 18 hours away in Australia, or in another country, because I do love to travel, are that, it would be different, and I may not be charging for it,
Right.
you know, depends on what's going on at the time. So I'm open to where I'm supposed to be going in this season.
Mhm.
I'm sure as the seasons progress, I'm going to continue to do that. I feel like everything I do is for my legacy. So this broadcast is going to be evergreen. It'll be here
Yes.
forever. So if my great great
Forever.
grandkids want to pull it up and say, "Let me see
Woo-hoo.
what grandma was talking about in
Yes.
2024," and it's still relevant 20 years later, because some things are core things
Mm.
that they're always
Mhm.
relevant. So I don't have a dollar amount what I'll be earning, because I don't think at this stage that's important, that I'll
Mhm.
X amount of dollars, or I'll have X amount of this or that, but that I'll be passing forward the legacy of who I am to the next generation.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I really feel like that is what we are put here to do, is to pass it on. We're not called to sit on all our gifts and talents and the wonderful things that we do. It is about legacy. It is about sharing with the next generation and making sure that they're okay enough to keep going forward, so that they can perpetuate that same thing to the generation after that. My husband often says that he wants to make such an impact, with our family, our legacy, so that our children's children's children will have a picture of us sitting over their fireplace, because they'll be so excited about what great great grandma and grandpa Irvin did.
Right.
So we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see if we may have that impact, but we'll see if they put that picture up there, right?
That may be true, that they'll have the picture, but another thing is that they'll have your DNA, and they may be
We'll
doing
have
things
it.
in a certain way that they
Yeah.
don't know why they do these things this way.
Yes.
But it's
Yes.
something to be passed down, through the generations for sure. Yeah,
Absolutely. So let
definitely.
me ask you this question, because sometimes people don't understand that sometimes even the encourager, has moments, you know.
Oh
So
yeah.
tell us, yeah, tell us, you don't have to get specific or anything, but do you become discouraged in your endeavors?
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, we're human beings. So every human being has the same emotions, greater or lesser at a certain time. This is for me the core of like iron sharpens iron. And when
Yeah.
I say iron, like get you some iron sisters and brothers and people in your life, so that
Mhm.
I have these people in my life, and in the previous season, they were more defined, because there
Mm.
was more people, but they weren't as succinct. And now there may be less people, but
Okay.
these are iron people, people that you can have a moment and they can send you a smiley face through a text, and it just lifts your spirit.
Right away. Yeah,
Right.
they're like you said, they're in
Right.
sync
You
with
heard their
you.
voice and they said,
Yeah.
"Come on in here, baby girl. Let me give you a hug. It's gonna be all
Right.
right." And all they
Right.
did was send you some energy through, right?
Yes.
Or you can think about them. One of my friends, Tiffany, which is our friends together. You can think about this person, and they call you, and it's like, hear what she's talking about immediately, right? I'm lifted
Yeah. Yeah.
immediately. And when you have those kind of people in your life, and that you're humble enough to reach out when you need to reach out. So
Yeah.
another thing that I've learned to do, recently, is just to reach out and say, hey, what's going on? And
Mhm.
the way I'm kind of wired is just like, but I don't need a lot to get snapped back, but
Yeah.
he snaps it back. And of course, let me not leave out my husband of 34 years, that
Right.
it
Right.
definitely, he lifts my spirit. He's a
Yeah.
really calm, collected kind of
Oh.
personality, and I can be the, The spark. I could be. I got an award from Toastmasters called Spark Plug Award, and I asked him like, well, "What does this mean, spark plug?" He's a mechanic, so I asked him the etymology of a spark plug.
Uh-huh.
Say this right, Kate. He said a spark plug gets it started. So you need a spark. You need a spark plug to get the car started. But once it gets started, you don't need it to keep going. So you do
Mm.
need it to spark the battery or the spark
Yeah,
engine so that you can get it going. And he's like, that's the right award for you because you are a spark plug.
that
And
is wow. And so it's funny, Kim and William, I think the Kim and William over here, we're opposite. He's the spark plug. I mean, he is the butterfly in the room. He is everywhere all the time, moving around, talking, shaking hands, kissing babies. And I'm the observer. I'm the one watching, observing. I'm friendly. And if I know you, I know you. And I'm really better about meeting people and becoming, more familiar with them. But we're totally the opposite. So we're going to go ahead. We have about 5 minutes left, and I have so enjoyed this time with you, Kim. I tell you, I want you to leave us with just a little bit of encouragement, just because the title of this show is Make It Make Sense. Just a little something to help us make it make sense, and then we're going to let you share how people can get in contact with you.
all right. I'd love to. I'll give you something very simple, a simple quote by Arthur Ashe. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can.
Mm,
And I'll break it
mhm,
down a little bit. Start where you are. If you want to start something new, don't worry about let me do all this first. Like, let me get myself straight before I go to church. No, go to church now and then
mhm,
continue to work on getting yourself straight. So
mhm.
start where you are. Wherever you are right now is the perfect position to get started. If you're
Wow.
thinking of something, you're thinking of it because you have the ability to do it. Start today. Take action within the next 24 hours and you'll get the ball rolling because action
Mhm.
causes reaction. It's a law of inertia. So start where you are and do what you use what you have. Don't worry about later when I can hire somebody to do. Now there is a time when you do need to hire someone, but not
Mhm,
to get started. Use
mhm.
what you have because remember, skills are transferable. You
Yeah.
have more skills than you think. You have more ability than you think. And once you start using what you have, people will see that you're using what you have and they'll want to support you in whatever
Yeah.
it is that you want to do.
So true.
They can't support you if they don't know what you're doing. How can I support you when I don't even know what you got going on?
Right.
Use what you have today because you already have exactly what you need to get started on the thing and then do what you can. So that's the quote. Start where you are, use what you have, do what you can. And when I say do what you can, make sure you're doing what you can, you
Okay.
know, right?
Right.
The song says after you've done all you can, then you stand. Well, you standing before you've done all you can. So make sure you
Right.
do all that you can. Ask yourself, is there something else I could do myself to push
Uh-huh.
this forward?
I
And do
love it.
right.
I love it. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you oh my gosh. Thank you so much for being here tonight. So, for more information about Kim D. Dixon, you can visit her at kimberlyconsult.com. And I'm telling you, you have to be a part of her classes and her coaching. She's an amazing coach. She's very encouraging. And you know what? She is just a magnificent, wonderful, encouraging, beautiful, talented woman. So we want to thank you, Kim, for being here on It's Just Kim, all things women, all things encouragement. And God bless you until the next time. All right, y'all. Thank you for watching. And make sure you share and like what you see. God bless y'all.
Thank you for watching Pyro Media Network. For more information, please visit pyromedianetwork.com.